I just always wanted to race my dad since I was a little kid. His old '60s Chevy is just the coolest thing I ever thought there was out there. And I was like, man, someday I'd like to race my dad and beat him. And I finally got this white 61 Ventura. It's a 3.9. I put a tri-power on. I thought, oh man, I bet I could smoke him in that thing. And we got it both out, and I got it lined up against him and ran him, and he beat me both times. 81 years old. I'm 51, and I couldn't even hang with him. He gave her hell too, and I think we both thought he messed it up because it was smoking when we got done there, and I was like, crap, but it was just carbon. He blew the carbon out of it, but it was cool. Pontiac versus Chevy, son versus dad. It was a cool deal. Well, I lost, but that was probably one of the coolest things I think I've ever done in my life. He was really getting on it. Man, that thing smoked this car. That's awesome. I'll never forget it. I just want to talk a little bit about my dad's car. He bought it in like 1960. He traded his red '57 Chevy in on it, and he didn't have enough money. He went to get the fancy one. This is the middle class car. It's a Bel Air, not Impala, and it was $400 more for the Impala. But luck of it being, everybody got the Impala back then, and the Bel Air is a rare car, so they didn't make very many 348 4-speed Bel Air two-door hardtops. So was pretty cool. I'm glad he did that because it's that much cooler to me. He did a lot of racing in it through the years, and he told me a lot of different stories about all the different things he did in it. And he drove it to Colorado after he was drafted in Nam. He had to take train back in Colorado. See that bag right there? That's his army bag from Nam. He never unpacked it. From once he got back from Nam, and then he had to go to stay in Colorado for a while for coming back off. But that's his bag from Nam. He just carried it in here the whole time. And every time I go across Iowa, he'll say it to you. He goes, And I can get across Iowa in 4 hours in my 60. And he got behind some guy. I think they were going over 100 mile an hour the whole way. So from Davenport to Omaha, 4 hours. And I hear about it every time we go through Iowa. So I think about that a lot, and that's kind of cool he did that. But I don't know. It's just a special car to me because, it belonged to him, and, he's had it for, what is it, almost 60 years, something like that probably. 1960. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be 60. His car is 60 years old right now. He's had it that long. And it just, I know every story about it. I know, how many times this motor's been rebuilt and how it blew up, or, like the trains had work done to it, and, he's never wrecked it, thank God. So original paint. That's the carburetor setup. That's off of a 58 Chevy, and he told me exactly what he had to do to trade for it to get it. And I learned when I was a little boy, I'd sit by his side. He'd be driving. He'd let me shift it, the 4-speed, with my left hand. So I actually learned how to drive a stick with my left hand, like I'm from Germany, or what country would?
UK.
Yeah, UK. Yeah, so I'd be really good with it there. But but I'd sit there and he'd let me shift it, while he's driving it, and I was 4, 5 maybe, So even to this day, driving it, I feel like I'm doing something wrong because I wasn't supposed to be in it and stuff, So like we were doing the sound thing. I was like going, oh, Jesus, I hope I don't get in trouble, But it's just the respect you have for my dad about it, and I'm just fortunate he still has it. So.
So how old were you when you first drove it?
Well, I was probably 14 because he was a mechanic and he'd go to Lido get parts. So when he took off, I'd sneak in it and drive it down the bridge and get on it and not tell him. He can't do nothing now, I suppose. He can't ground me now about it, so I'll just say it. But yeah, I was probably about 14 when I took it out, and there used to be an old bridge down about a mile from my house, and it was a wooden bridge, so it had the wooden planks, and I'd stop and spin the tires and smoke them. It was really smoke real good on wood, so, little shit like that. It, I don't know. I probably drove it 20, 30 times in my lifetime, so I haven't really got to drive it much. So that's why I guess I'm still nervous about it when I drive it. But I plan on driving it more. I wish he'd drive it more, and he likes it. He said the other day when he got in, he goes, we went through the gears and stuff, and he goes, I've had $1 million worth of good times in this car. So I wouldn't even know value-wise what this car would be worth. To me, it's worth millions. But it's a neat car, part of our family. So. These tires right here in the front were my dad's buddy had a stock car, and these are actually Cadillac rims because they're extra wide, and then he welded them into the Chevy centers, so it's kind of a custom look that not a lot of people probably have, so kind of cool. He had cheater slicks on it for a long time, but they're dry rotted, so. But that's original paint. Been drove in salt and everything, but he took care of it. So. Little spots here and there. It needs painted. I asked him the other day, I go, Dad, would you repaint this? He goes, nah. He likes how it looks still. I do too. It's rough, but it's got character. It's not bad though for what's all been done. It's been drove in salt and, years and years of sun and everything else. So, but I'm just glad we got it.